So we're going to start with some core activation stuff. So this one, you've got your rectus abdominis, which is like the six-pack muscle that attaches sternum and ribs, and then pubic bone this way. You've got your obliques coming in this way, and another one here. And then running this direction, you have the transverse abdominis. So that's the one that we're going to target. It's working all of them, but what that one does is it compresses. Yeah. So we are going to do some rotations. So when you lay flat, you have this gap that happens, and that's normal. So we're going to put our heels and our knees in what's called constructive rest. So you don't have to hold your legs like this. If you let them go, they're not going to go in. They can stay like this on their own. And you might have that gap here. So we are going to, with our diaphragm and our pelvic floor. So diaphragm is like this and pelvic floor is like this. When we take a big inhale, they actually contract. So they're going together. And you'll feel that pressure in your stomach, and that's what happens. Your belly comes out with those muscles. So when we exhale, that's making room for us to compress that transverse abdominis, and so that's what we want to do. We want to push the pelvic floor and the diaphragm apart and pull that transverse TVA down. So when we inhale, let the belly get really big, and then we're going to, from our hips, rotate down as we compress. We're going to push. We're going to pull back. So the belly button is pushing straight down. See? Let that gap happen. Big breath. Push down. We're getting rid of that gap. We're rotating at the hips. And we're pressing down. So we're feeling all of these muscles, but the really, really active compression one is that TVA. And we're working our pelvic floor and our diaphragm. We're stretching it, but we're also contracting it. So give it a big contraction, big breath. Loosen all the ab muscles up. And then we're compressing. So you want to compress so hard. And all the way, all the air is out. That when you go to take a breath, it's like an elastic band. It just flows in. So big, hard exhale. Automatic deep breath in and compress again. Let's do 3 more. Really connect to that muscle. One. Okay, we can relax. So I'm going to bring our heels back as far as we can to where we can touch with our ankles. So the first thing that we're going to do is a light version of what we just did. So we're going to pull back and we're going to compress just a little bit. We're going to hold that transverse, that TVA tight. Pull the belly button back like a strap. And then we're going to press through the heels. We're going to start contracting the glutes. We're going to lift up. So compressing here, what that's going to do is that's going to keep this stationary. So nothing else is working. So roll your shoulder blades back so they're flat and they're pinned onto the ground. And then you're going to just touch your ankles lightly. So first thing we do is we exhale. And then we continue to exhale as we push. So you're going to feel that here. The hips have went this way. So when we inhale, we're just barely going to touch the low back. We're not going to touch the glutes. We're going to leave a gap. And then we're going to exhale. We're pulling in here. You should feel it. and we're squeezing here. You should feel it. And then you're going to feel a stretch here in the hip flexors and the quads. Deep breath in. Exhale. Keep that contraction. Pull. We're pulling the hips back towards our nose. Squeeze and squeeze. Let's do 3 more. Coming all the way up. Big breath. So we're using that pelvic floor again. When we exhale, we want to push those 2 muscles apart. And we want to pull that transverse abdominis down, and we're going to tighten, brace with the glutes. 1 more. And relax. So windmill here is going to stretch our back. It's going to stretch that hip flexor even more. Stretch that side of the glute as well. And the abs are relaxed. Just going to do those 2 again. So go to constructive rest. The legs aren't doing anything. They're not active here. So as we inhale, we're relaxing, but we're tightening the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. So big belly, let the belly expand. And then as we exhale, push those muscles apart from each other. Pull the TVA down and let those hips rotate back. Deep breath. Compress, compress, compress. This should feel good on the low back. Last 3. Let's stay just like this. Walk the heels in a little bit more. Hold that muscle down. Big breath and exhale, push. Lock those shoulder blades down. Touch the heels. Big breath. Hover the hips. Exhale, push. Keep that tight. Brace, squeeze those glutes. Stretch here. You want a straight line, shoulders, hips, and knees. Last 4. Big breath, big squeeze. Tight. Two more. Come down slowly. Relax. Windmill to stretch. So next we're going to switch directions. So we're making a table. We want to be right underneath our hips. We don't want our knees together. We don't want our hands together. We want them right underneath our shoulders. So, same movement. We're going to inhale. Let a sag happen. Exhale. Pull. Make that contraction even bigger than it was on the ground. Stretch and the chin comes up. The glutes stretch as well. Exhale. Push with the hands. Give it a little bit extra. Open the shoulder blades. Exhale. 4 more. Pull the core in. 2 more. Push back to stretch. So from here, we're going to take our tabletop and we're going to extend. So the first thing we're going to do is lock the core in. So you might have a slight rounding to the back, but you want to feel that core pushing in, contract that muscle. And then you're going to extend straight. So when we extend, we're going to push our heel up just a little bit. The foot is flexed. We want to squeeze that glute. If the arm is too much for you, then you can stay here and push the glute out. But watch the hips. We don't want to open the hips. Okay, we need to keep that core tucked. Okay, otherwise it's opposite hand and foot. Squeeze and lift the glute. So same thing with the arm. Lift and squeeze. Keep the core. So every time you come back, you can reset by squeezing, pulling in a little bit. Squeeze, little lift. Extend, squeeze, little lift. We're doing with the exhale. Exhale, little lift. Inhale here, tuck the core. Push out, little lift. Little lift. Extend, little lift. Extend, little lift. We're feeling it in the shoulder, we're feeling it in the glute, and we're keeping the core tight. Extend, little lift. Extend, little lift. You might feel a little going up the low back. Extend, little lift. And that's normal because that's a muscle that helps when you use your glutes. Little lift. Last one. Little lift. So now if you want to stretch, you're going to first tuck in, stretch the back, and then push back hard on the hands. And relax. Yeah. So one more through. We're going to make that tabletop right underneath the joints, stack the joints. Big inhale. Give a stretch. Big exhale. Contract. Pull the hips. Open the shoulder blades. Big inhale. Big exhale. Pull. Really, really feeling the core. Pulling. And we're compressing. Well, we've got 3 more. And last one. If you need to stretch, you're going to pull back with the back and press from the hands and relax. Then we're going back into our tabletop again. My son had a sharp piece of wood. So we're going into our tabletop, and the first thing we're going to do is a slight pull in here. Opposite hand and leg. We're going to extend hard and flex and lift. With the inhale, relax. Exhale, extend, squeeze, and lift. If that's too much for you, you're just going to keep it here with the squeeze. Here with the squeeze. Exhale, squeeze. Exhale, squeeze. Small lift. Exhale, squeeze, small lift. Exhale, squeeze, small lift. Every time we come here, reset that core. Pull in. Keep that core tight with that compressive muscle, transverse abdominis. Little lift. Exhale, squeeze, little lift. Feeling it in the shoulders and the glutes. Keeping the core tight. Let's do 2 more each side. Squeeze, little lift. Exhale hard, pull that core in. Last one. Around the back to stretch, push back. We're going to do one more core using muscle or exercise. We're going to go to a push-up. So you want your push-ups to be your hands, your thumb is at the nipple line, and your hands are right there. So the elbows are slightly bent. They're tucked into the waist. And we're just at the height or the width of the shoulders. So we're not far. So we're coming over like this, but we're keeping that core tucked. Keep the core tucked. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. So if you can't do a push-up, you can plank from here, and you're just going to hold it. But you are going to push into the floor, and you're going to tighten the arm. You're going to squeeze muscle to bone. Otherwise, you're going to come down as low as you can. If this is all you got, that's all you got. But we're not sagging. We're keeping the core tight. We're coming down. Big inhale, big exhale. Big inhale, big exhale. So as soon as we start to lose form, we stop. If that's here, then that's where it is. So big inhale, big exhale. Last 2, last one. If that's way too easy, then you're going to keep that form at the hips with the core, and you're just going to pop onto the toes. If the push-ups are too hard, but the plank is too easy, as long as you're feeling it in the core, you're going to tuck the hips, and same thing, pop onto the toes and hold it. Okay. One more set there of 10. So thumbs are at the nipple line, hands are right underneath the shoulders. So we can plank here. We can plank here as long as we've got that tuck, or we can push up. So when we push up, we're going over. You can also push up from your feet, but I'm going for form. I'm 9 months postpartum, and I'm not quite at the foot push-up yet. Exhale, push. Inhale, up. Inhale. Exhale, push. 3 more. 2. 1. Stretch those arms. Yeah. Okay, we're going to come up. So here we're going to do some squats. So the easiest, most comfortable is going to be a sumo squat, which means, can't see my feet, that from our hips, put natural turnout with our feet. So when we do our squat, we want it to be comfortable. Okay? So our natural turnout from the hips, and we're sitting all the way down into it. Okay? So here we go. Natural turnout. We're going to come with our hands and reach for the ankles. But we're not going to stand all the way up. We're going to leave some tension here. We're going to leave our glutes really tucked in. So our back is straight, our core is pulled in. We're using that transverse abdominals again, and then we're holding with the glutes. The glutes are tucked. Big exhale, push. Big inhale down. Squeeze those glutes. You're going to pull them in. Keep the core tucked. Two more. Last one. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing here with a hip width squat. So right underneath the hips, our feet are pointed forward, and we're just going to go down. So some people like to do a chair squat, and they like to do it this way. But the goal is to keep your feet flat on the ground. The knees are tracking over the toes, and we're sitting below the knees. Okay? So we're sitting here below the knees, and our feet are flat. And when we come up, we're going to push the glutes forward, but we're not going to lock the knees out. So we're going to sit back, and then we're going to push the glutes forward. Sit back, push. Give it a little glute bridge in the air. Push. Sit back, push. Sit back, push. Sit back, push. Sit back, push. Last two. Push. Last one. Push. So the knees do not go in or out. They stay in stationary, and the foot is gripped on the ground. So we don't raise up on our toes. We don't sit way back. We are keeping it over the foot. The feet are pressing into the ground. So I like to have bare feet, but that's just me. So we're going to do a little glute activator. So we're going to, again, tuck with an exhale. Hold that transverse abdominis in. You're going to weight on this leg, and you're going to kick this one back. Just like we did with those extensions in the tabletop. Only as far until your hip starts to open. And then we're going to keep that contraction. We're not going to bring it all the way in. Woo, losing balance. Squeeze. We're going to keep that glute contracted. 3, 2, 1. And we're feeling a little quad here. The quad's burning. So again, we're going to tuck. And then we're going to push back. This leg has a little bend. We're pushing back, but we're not opening the hips. We're pushing with the heel. This leg's got tension in the quad. Last one. So same type of thing, but we're going to go out to the side. So we're going to work here a little bit and a little bit of obliques. So So we're going to squeeze, tuck the pelvis. There's weight in the legs. So this is our base leg, and we're coming out. 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 But we're not resting on the foot. Just this base leg. So this foot's going to tap, and it's going to come back out. Don't let the body move. So you got a little compression happening right here. That core is squeezing. We're squeezed here. 3, 2, 1. So we're switching. Out. We're not leaning. We're squatting on this leg just a little bit. We're squeezing in the oblique. We're pulled in at the core, compressed with that TVA muscle. 3, 2, and 1. March it out. Legs should be burning. That standing leg should be burning. Okay. We're going to do all of those one more time. So we're going out a little bit past shoulder width. So my feet are right here. And then the natural turn up from the hips. Boom. So we're going to squat down, reach for the heels. Come up, and we're going to hug those glutes under. So reach, nice flat back. Hug those glutes under. We're pulling. We're not locking the knees out. Exhale, push. Pull the glutes together. Compress with that TVA. Three more. 2. Last one. So you're going to bring it in. Feet are right underneath the hips. We're going to squat down. And then when we come in, we're going to push it forward. But we're not going to straighten the legs. Push. Deep breath. Exhale, push. Push. So we want a good amount of bend in the leg. The quads are really burning. And then when we come up, we're pushing. Just like with those bridges, we got that compression. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, from here, we're doing that compression with one more time. The core pulls in, holds the hips. Go onto one leg, kick back. Don't let that hip open. Keep them even with each other. Squeeze that glute. You might feel a little in that muscle in the back. That's okay. Squeeze. So you're going to pull the core. And you feel that in your back. Pull through. 3, 2, 1. Give it a switch. Pull those hips up. When you feel that muscle in the back, pull it in even harder. 3, 2, and 1. Same thing here. Pull, pull, and compress. We're kicking out to the side. Stay low on this leg. This foot just barely taps. Keeping it flexed. 3, 2, 1. Switch. Weight on this leg. Push. Keeping that foot flexed. Keeping that body still. Remember that looks like this. Low on this leg. Core's tight. Body's still. 3, 2, and 1. March it out. Shake it out. We get some light dumbbells or some cans if you have canned food. I'm going to do a quick little arm circuit. So these are 5s. You can use 2s, 3s, or canned vegetables. So at a 90 degree here, we're going to open up, neutral wrist, raise to the shoulders. Push those elbows up. Push. Big inhale. Big inhale. 3, 2, 1, and we're going to go straight up overhead and push. You can touch the weights together if it's too much. Otherwise, separate them, but you want those elbows in tight. Over the head. Wrists are neutral, elbows are squeezed. 3, 2, overhead, drop it down. Touch the weights together if it's too much. Otherwise, keep them separated, but your elbows are right over your shoulders. We're not locking the elbows out. 3, 2, bring it all the way down. Give a bicep curl up. But we're going to stay nice and tight. We're not going to lock the elbow out. We're not going to drop that tension. We'll keep the chest open. Palms up. Same thing. Keep that bend at the bottom. We're going to pulse in the middle. Nice and small. 4, 3, 2, switch to hammer. 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. We're going to go right back in to those again. So we're going elbows up, over the shoulders, lift. Inhale with the lift. Wrists are neutral, elbows are higher than the shoulder. Last one, and we're going to go up, push, push. Elbows are nice and tight. Wrists are neutral, push. 4, 3, 2, come up overhead. Drop it back, stretch, and squeeze. Separate the weights if you can. We're squeezing the triceps. Wrists are neutral. 4, 3, 2, all the way down. Hammer curls. Keep that elbow tight. Keep the shoulders pinned back. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. And we're squeezing. 3, 2, palms come up. Same thing. Squeeze. Squeeze those shoulder blades back. 3, 2, going pulses in the middle. 4, 3, 2, switch to hammer, pulses. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. I'm going to do a couple Tabata sets of cardio. So we're going to do one on the ground that includes a little abs. If that is too much, this is your cue to tune out. Otherwise, we are going to the floor and we're going to go to plank. And we're going to do shoulder taps. Tap, tap. Now, the next one you can do with or without weights. I'm going to do it from my knees. You can also do it from your feet. It's going to be rows. So you don't have to do these with weight at all. You can do them just here. And you're going pull, pull, okay? Otherwise, you're going pull, pull, okay? The next one, We're doing in and out. So you can be here, in, 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 in. You can be here with a little harder, but still low. You can be here with both the legs. You can be here with no hands, okay? So those are going to be harder and harder, each one. And then we're going to do a twist. So you can be here with feet crossed, and we're twisting. Okay, you can be here, and we're twisting. Or you can have your weight, and we're twisting. Okay? So we've got 20 seconds on, 10-second rests.
Get ready.
Okay, starting with a plank.
Exercise.
Shoulders are right underneath, or right over top of the hands, and we're touching. If you can't do this, then don't do it. If you need to be here and touch, then be here. Okay? Don't let the body rock as much as you can. Push back for a rest. Next is our rows from a plank.
Exercise.
So remember your good plank. You can be here. As long as that core is tucked, you can be here. Widen the feet, gives you a better base, and we're squeezing. Remember, you can be here, or you can be with no weights. Last one. Stretch and relax. Coming up for our in and outs. So here's high, little support, one at a time. Okay? So we're exhaling and we're pulling. And relax. Stretch those legs here. Twists. Don't move the legs, just twist the torso. You can be here, or you can be here. Just don't cross your ankles. That levels your hips. Okay, we're going to do those one more time. Coming up for our plank with taps. Remember, your low is here, tapping, tapping, or no taps at all. You can just hold. Tapping, tapping. Big breaths. Keep that core pulled in tight.
Rest.
Little stretch. Big deep breath. We're going into those rows next. With or without weights. Your low is going to be here. Your high is going to be here. Pull, deep breaths. Exhale, exhale. Keep that core tight, chin is up. Push back and stretch. Big deep breath. Coming up for those in and outs. Remember, your low is here. Okay? Keep the chest nice and open. If that means supporting with the hands, do that. Exhale, exhale. Relax the legs. Next is twists. Remember, low is here. You can twist. You can twist. You can twist. You can twist. Good form, flat back. Core is pulled in tight. And relax. Deep breaths. We're going to do one more.
Turn.
That's all cardio.
Then 4 minutes 7 seconds exercising.
Next one is going to be all cardio. So the only one that we have on the ground is going to be jumps. So we're going to go into our plank. Your low is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because you want your foot flat on the ground. Otherwise, we're here. Okay. We are also going to do jumping jacks. This is your active recovery. So your low is going side to side. But we're going into that leg. The foot is flat. Okay? Into that leg, little squat. Otherwise, same thing. Feet are flat. Let me see. Feet are flat. Okay? We're going with it. Easy on the knees. Then we're going switch jumps. Okay? So your low is here. Okay? You're just going to get low. And you're going to push that foot. Otherwise, you're going to jump. And you're going to switch. And then last, we're going to do some taps. So whatever you have, you're going to tap to. So low is here. Okay, you're just going to touch as many times as you can. High with a jump. Higher jumping jack arms. And you don't need a focal point item. You can just do it on the ground. So here we go. We're going through those twice. Jumping jacks are first.
Starting with the body workout. Get ready. Exercise.
Jumping jacks. Landing on our feet. The whole foot comes down. Remember, low is here. Okay?
Rest.
Okay, next we're doing a little jump. Deep breath. Ready? So
Exercise.
low is here. High is here. And switch them. Switch them. Switch them.
Rest.
Whew. We're going down to the ground. We're going to do those thrust jumps. Okay? Deep breath.
Exercise.
Low is here. Feet are flat. High is here. Deep breaths. Touch your heels.
Rest.
Woo. Next, we're doing taps. Ready?
Exercise.
Low is here with no jump. High is here. Big deep breath. Big deep breath. Let's go over, stretch. Big deep breaths. Sit into this leg. And switch. Just give a little stretch. But if they're shaking, you don't want to just sit in them. Big breath. Let's take it down to the ground. Feet together. Stretching here. Big breath. The hand can come down behind you. Open up the ribs. Deep breath. Switch. One leg comes out. You're going to reach. Stretch that part in the back that we were working during those kickbacks. So this arm crosses over, and then we just relax. We're going to feel that stretch here. If you're not feeling it, put your hand on the inside of the foot, and then you should feel a little more. Just lean down into that stretch. Deep breaths. And switch. Reach towards that inner sole of the foot. Cross that arm over. Just relax into it. Let that area of the back stretch out. Deep breath. Let's take it forward. If your legs are too tight, just bring one of them in and reach. Only reach as far as you can go without your knee drawing up, okay? We're wanting to stretch here. We're wanting the knee relaxed. If you can touch your toe, great. If you can't, hold on wherever you can. Deep breath. And we're going to switch. Hold on wherever you can. If that's your foot, then great. Deep breaths. Let's do both legs. The same thing here. Pull your toes back towards you, but if you can only go as far as your ankles without getting that draw, then just go there. But we want to relax here. And then as we stretch with our arms relaxed, we're going to drop our chin to our chest. And we're going to let it be really heavy. It's going to be very uncomfortable, but we're stretching this long piece of fascia that goes from the top of the head to the heels. Breathe with it. Let your head be heavy. Stay with it. It's going to feel very bad. Drop that chin. With every exhale, drop. 4 more big breaths. 3 big breaths. 2. 1 more. Don't come out of the stretch, but let your hands go. Let your arms come to your side and continue to let your body fall forward. Let your head be heavy. 3 big breaths. Now slowly push your back and roll up. Your head is going to be the last thing to come up. Slowly, we're straightening out those vertebrae. And then we're going to pull our chin up. Okay? Ear to shoulder. Let your head be heavy. And then go back. Slowly, we're going chin up. Slowly to that other ear. Okay. So same thing. Drop over to that shoulder. The head is neutral. Straight over. Put your hand on your ear. And don't pull on your ear. Just let your arm be heavy. Sit up nice and tall so that elbow is going straight out towards the wall. 2 deep breaths. 1 more. We're going to go to this other side. So sit up nice and tall. Chin is neutral. Drop it over. Take this arm, touch your ear. And don't pull. Just let your arm be heavy. Giving your head a little hug. Sit up nice and tall and 2 big breaths. All the way back. And come up. Big deep breath. 1 more. And that is a wrap. So thank you for working out with us. Thank you for listening to my little screams, my little baby screams. And we'll see you next time, huh?